Hashtag Trending is brought to you by CDW Canada Tech Talks. If you're passionate about technology and innovation, this is the podcast for you. Join host KJ Burke as he and industry experts dive into the latest trends, insights, and strategies shaping the tech landscape in Canada. From hybrid cloud to AI adoption, CDW Canada Tech Talks covers it all. Don't miss out. Visit cdw.ca/tech talks and tune in today. There's a link in the show notes. The EU has an innovative new way of fighting against deepfakes. Italy's piracy shield misfires and blocks Google Drive in an anti-piracy blunder. And Apple may be 2 years behind industry leaders in AI, and Tim Cook is okay with that. Welcome to Hashtag Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. The European Union is developing new technology to combat deepfakes using micro-expressions. Now, these are minute facial movements that are difficult for synthetic videos to replicate. It's inspired by the pioneering work of psychologist Paul Ekman. European law enforcement agencies are collaborating with facial biometric software maker Herta Security to develop tools for deepfake detection that are future-proof against rapidly advancing AI. Herta Security's approach focuses on subtle micro-expressions that deepfakes fail to imitate effectively. They don't blink in a natural way. They don't smile in a natural way. It's something that a person cannot really explain, says Manuel Pastor, Herta's chief technology officer. By comparing involuntary expressions in suspected deepfake videos with authentic footage of the person, Herta's tool aims to identify manipulated content that eludes conventional detection. Herta is part of a 12-member consortium called the European Identity Theft Observatory System, ETHOS, funded by the EU's Horizon 2020 initiative. ETHOS aims to be Europe's central point for combating online identity theft involving universities, law enforcement agencies, and companies. The consortium is developing 4 tools to support police investigations, including deepfake video and audio detection, as well as analyzing social media botnets and forums discussing deepfake technology. Currently, Herta's anti-deepfake software is being tested by law enforcement agencies in Sweden, Greece, and Spain. The final goal is to create a commercial product available to police forces across Europe and beyond. ETHOS expects the tools to be ready by 2025. The project also includes an effort to raise public awareness about identity theft and data safety. Educational institutions across Europe are researching the social, psychological, and legal aspects of identity theft. Manuel Pastor highlighted the importance of support for victims who often hesitate to seek help due to embarrassment. It's very important, he says, that citizens are aware that they have the technical tools and the support of law enforcement agencies for these particular crimes. In a stunning display of regulatory overreach, Italy's privacy shield law has inadvertently blocked access to Google Drive, confusing the popular cloud storage service with a source of illegal activity. This mishap highlights the issues inherent in the new law, which allows Italy's telecom regulator, AGCOM, to designate IP addresses for blocking without an effective appeal process. Earlier this year, Italy implemented the Privacy Shield, which gave AGCOM the authority to label certain IP addresses as the sources of piracy, mandating that internet providers and VPNs block access. While there's some merit in proceeding urgently, the approach of blocking first and dealing with fallout later has led to some incidents, including the recent erroneous block of Google Drive. AGCOM's recent amendments to the Piracy Shield have also made the situation worse by increasing criminal sanctions for failing to comply and expanding the list of VPNs and DNS services subject to these measures. On October 19th, AGCOM mistakenly blocked the critical domain drive.usercontent.google.com, effectively making Google Drive inaccessible across Italy for several hours. The blackout also extended to parts of YouTube, impacting users' ability to access legitimate services. The error occurred after a ticket was uploaded to AgCom's system flagging domains supposedly used for illegal streaming, but unintentionally taking down legitimate services like Google Drive. The Piracy Shield regulations require ISPs to act quickly, blocking domains within 30 minutes of a complaint being filed, leading to hasty decisions and mistakes. Although an allow list is meant to protect trusted services like Google, it appears a critical Google Drive domain was not included. While some ISPs have since unblocked Google Drive, many have not, fearing sanctions for defying AgCom's blocking orders. This is not the first instance of overblocking by Piracy Shield. Similar poorly planned regulatory actions have taken tens of thousands of legitimate sites offline in the past. Despite the mounting evidence of flaws, the Italian government has yet to address the systemic issues that led to such overblocking incidents, although in fairness, it also points out the real difficulties countries have in being able to regulate global tech companies in a connected, cloud-driven world. Apparently, Apple CEO Tim Cook is well aware that his company is lagging behind in artificial intelligence, and he's okay with that. Internal studies reportedly show that Apple Intelligence is 2 years behind industry leaders like ChatGPT. Cook, however, remains confident that Apple's approach, focused on quality rather than being first, will ultimately lead to better products for customers. And where Apple used to be tight-lipped about their product launches to bring us that surprise, that one more thing feeling, there's so much news out about the launch of Apple Intelligence that it seems like Apple is trying to lower expectations. The initial rollout of Apple Intelligence on October 28th will be relatively limited compared to competitors like Google's Gemini, which already features AI-generated text, summarization, and image generation capabilities. Apple's Siri integration, which aims to work seamlessly between apps, still lacks an official launch date and may not arrive until 2025. Cook emphasized Apple's approach in a recent interview. "We weren't the first to do intelligence, but we've done it the way we think is best for the customer." Apple Intelligence will be available on iPhone 16, iPhone 15 Pro, and the latest iPads, and will come with on-device privacy features. Users will need to grant permission before using generative AI features. The initial features of Apple Intelligence will include writing tools for proofreading, rewriting, or summarizing text, as well as a priority notifications capability to organize pressing alerts. Apple is also introducing text summarization for notes and call transcripts, which Cook claims has already saved him significant time. On the good news side, the initial features of Apple Intelligence will include writing tools for proofreading, rewriting, or summarizing text, as well as priority notifications capabilities to organize pressing alerts. Apple will also introduce text summarization for notes and call transcripts, which Cook claims have already saved him significant time. However, on the negative side, internal assessments have found Siri to be 25% less accurate than ChatGPT, highlighting the challenges Apple faces as it seeks to catch up in the AI space. Despite its late entry, Apple's philosophy of refining its AI products by learning from competitors' mistakes might give it an edge in providing this better user experience. Cook remains optimistic, insisting that being the best, not the first, is what matters most. But ultimately, Cook is a salesman for the company. So what would you expect him to say? Nobody's going to count Apple out even on this. But there is a reminder that no company gets to hold the lead in its industry by constantly falling behind its competition. And speaking of lessons, here's a lesson learned in keeping up in a busy world. I'm always trying to find the key stories of the day. Some days there are so many, it's a struggle to pick the best. Other days, it's tough, but the deadline comes around no matter what I do. So when I saw a story on Reddit about how AIs may be capable of self-reflection, I jumped. Now, I'm never going to say we're incapable of a mistake, but we do try to do some back-checking on stories. And so, on this story, rather than taking what was written at face value, we dug until we found the original paper and I read it. It turns out that, yes, there is a technique that can simulate something like reflection in an AI model. It's clever, and it does improve how an AI can be taught to explore a new environment, which is what it was designed for. It's a clever trick introduced in training, and yes, it makes the AI more clever than a mouse at exploring. Can it? Will it lead to great things? Yes, it probably will. But will it make an AI capable of self-reflection? No. It's a reminder that we're capable of more than this. We're capable of not cynicism all the time, but at least being skeptical. And when something looks too good to be true, maybe it probably is. In a world of headlines and deadlines, of high speed, we have to be careful. And that, for me, will be processed in a way that, for a time, only humans can do. I'm going to reflect on it. And hopefully, learn. And that's our show for today. Thanks to our sponsors, CDW and KJ Burke's CDW Canada Tech Talks. Check it out if you get the chance. You can find it anywhere you find podcasts, Spotify, Apple, or at cdw.ca/tech talks. You can reach me at editorial@technewsday.ca. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a terrific Tuesday.